These are the 5 NES games that I chose for this video. Each of them have their own issues. The Chessmaster has a little bit of grime all over the cartridge. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is not actually working. It has like a 10% success rate. Wrath of the Black Manta is just a little bit dirty. And 1942 has the same issue as Mike Tyson. Contra can't be fixed. The 3 main things you're going to want, first one is Rain X for a permanent marker or Sharpie on your cartridge. Second is isopropyl alcohol, which cleans the entire cartridge, and you just kind of need it. Brasso is like the secret sauce. It cleans the pins on the cartridge, which is something I wish I knew for a long time. And of course you're going to need Q-tips. So the first one's going to be the Chessmaster, and the way I like to start it is just by taking a small cup and pouring some isopropyl alcohol into it. That way it's a lot easier to get onto my Q-tips or napkins. So for this one, I'm just going to start by cleaning all the little divots on the NES cartridge before I do the wipe down with a napkin. That way the napkin will pick up all the junk that got dislodged. Make sure you go around all the sides and even into the little holes on the back of the cartridge if possible. And you definitely want to hit the top where the 2 cartridges come together, because for some reason a lot of dirt gets caught up there. So I'm going to try to get rid of this little dirt spot on the back. It shouldn't be too hard with isopropyl alcohol and a napkin, but it was a little bit harder than I thought it would be. And I wipe down every cartridge that I buy completely with the isopropyl just to get rid of any smell. There's always hidden dirt on there that just comes off really easily. And here's what I mean by getting all around the cartridge. You want to get everywhere, so I grab a little Q-tip and isopropyl alcohol, and I just basically push my finger down and clean every divot of the cartridge. When you clean your NES game, you don't have to open it up. I do, just because I'm so sick of putting in a game and it doesn't work. This is a special Nintendo screw head thing. It works on a few of their consoles. I'll link it in the description to the exact one I bought if it's still up and available. But there's usually only 3 screws, but sometimes there's 5, and sometimes it's also just a regular flathead screwdriver that you can get inside. So I just wanted to take this second to apologize for the mic being on the bottom right of the screen for like half of this video. I swear it wasn't there when I recorded it, but obviously it was. I think I bumped the camera, so sorry about that. So one thing you have to be really careful with is there's these little pins everywhere, and they're really, really fragile. So if you ever pick up an NES game and you shake it around and you hear rattling, that's most likely what it is. And this one actually already fell out and it was rattling. I usually just wipe down the inside. Sometimes you'll be so amazed the amount of junk that's in there. And since you have it open anyway, you should probably just check if it's a legit cartridge. And this one definitely looks like it is. It has Nintendo and NES and the date that it was manufactured, so I believe that it's legit. This is where the Brasso comes in. This is like the secret sauce to make your games work, because everyone just says, you know, first when I started collecting games, it was just blow on the cartridge. Then it was hit the cartridge or hit the NES, so you know, pick it up and drop it or something. And then they said use like a pencil eraser and rub it on the cartridge. After that, I heard the isopropyl alcohol one, which works really well actually. You don't even have to take it apart. You could just take the Q-tip and just rub it in the cartridge. But I definitely recommend using a mix of Brasso and isopropyl alcohol. So there's the little piece that fell off that I was telling you about. And the last part is just putting the cartridge back together. So you're going to want to make sure all the chips are facing the front of the cartridge. It should slide in no matter what game it is. It should be a pretty easy fit. And then you kind of put the top in first, set it down, put the screws back in, and you are ready to put that cartridge onto price charting. That's basically my system for every game. And I don't have a game that has stickers on it still, but if you do run across that, you're just going to want to use one of these two tools here, and you can rub it pretty hard and it won't damage the cartridge. It even works on the front or back label of the game. Here's me showing the Rain X how it's supposed to work, because the example that I showed did not work very well, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. But so I just wrote on this NES game with some Sharpie, 1942. And if you use Rain X, it just comes right out. But what I didn't know is Rain X is a extremely strong chemical, and if you leave it on your cartridge for too long, it will smooth out the plastic. So it kind of like melts the plastic or so. It's like sandpaper, because it made this next cartridge. This is Wrath of the Black Manta. It got rid of the Sharpie on top, but there's this red Sharpie underneath it. And so I'm scrubbing at it for like 5 minutes. And then I'm like, screw it, and I just pour that on. And when I scrubbed it, listen to this. Listen to how this sounds. It completely smoothed my cartridge out. So that was the other type of screw bit, and it's not a big deal. I mean, as long as you have a small flathead, you'll be fine. This is Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, which is probably the game in my collection that works the least. This probably works, like, if I put it in maybe 5 to 10% of the time. Like, this game has never worked, and I've had it in my collection for almost the longest. I bought it off eBay, like, 4 years ago, and if I get past this title screen, it crashes during the game. So this tool here is kind of like a fabric sandpaper, and they sell it just for cartridges. This one's for, I think, Game Boys. And I'm just using it here because there's some serious grime on these pins. And Brasso and isopropyl alcohol is not working. So you kind of have to use some, heavier duty tools. So I'll leave a link in the description to where you can buy that. It's totally not necessary, and you probably won't run into it very often. But it does help a little bit. You can see in the pictures, it doesn't look that much better, but it definitely works a lot better. It plays every single time I put it in now, so did something. So I'm gonna test the games. These are the first try recordings. And it works. Next is the Chess Master. Now, I've never played the Chess Master, but if I do, it'll work. Here's Punch-Out, which is the one I was really hoping it would work, and it just booted right up, no issues at all. There's always problems with this game, so really glad that it worked. 1942, I've never had too many issues with. It definitely has had graphic issues on the main stage that I'm playing here, but it seems to be running really great, so. Well, that was basically it. I just wanted to show you guys what I do to clean my games. You don't have to follow it, it's just what I do. After this, I would usually just go right over to price charting and add all my games to it with like as descriptive of details as possible. And yeah, that's basically what I've done with every single one of my games over the past month or a few months. It's taken about a year to clean all these games, but hope you guys liked it, and I hope to be making more videos, but school's getting pretty busy.